Is it time?
It's 8 or something. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody, who's it?
Nobody up.
Nobody's home. Hey, it's me, Armel, your favorite person in the whole world. Hey, yeah, now you got too much light. Look, your light. You see your halo. You looking at the wrong light. It's always a light in front of you,
This is
so you got to move that way.
this is bad. This is blinding.
You got to move that way.
Move what now?
Yeah, that's what.
Move
That's why
that
you got
this
to
way.
put your stunners on. Move that way. Move that way.
Now move this way. You're.
Okay, so I'm gonna move this way because this is the direction that the lights are going in. Hey, everybody. Hey, Shanna. Who?
Oh
Smashing
hey.
the badass. What the heck is that mean?
Mm.
Smashing the badass. That
Smashing
sounds.
that bad. That no. Smashing that bass, Armel.
Smashing that bass. Oh,
You.
yo.
Where you get
Anybody who know
badass
me
from?
know I can't say. Say I say ass. Smashing that
That
bad.
bass.
Uh, bass.
Hi.
Hey, welcome aboard. Welcome. I'm bugging out. So I'm out here messing with my daggone lights and computers, and we didn't put up a thumbnail, and
Oh
as
yeah,
usual, I
shoot.
get the blame for everything.
Cause you're always the one to mess up, Armel.
Yeah, I'm always the one.
Okay.
I'm always the one. Hey, everybody. So today's live, right? We're going to talk
Oh, bass like the fish.
like bass,
Oh, like the fish. See?
smashing the bass.
Smashing that bass. Oh, like fish, like
What's
bass
up,
fish.
Shanna?
Hey, Shana.
Hey, Shanna. Where Jason at? VR man.
Folks,
Tony Montana. That's Tony Montana himself.
folks, I'm actually getting some really bad allergies, so I'll try not to sneeze. Even though I took some Zyrtec pill.
Hmm. I'm just looking at you on YouTube.
What? Why you kicking me watching my?
I'm not watching. I'm reading because I can't see that. So I have to look at this.
You can't see this.
No, it's hard for me to see, Cassie. It's hard
From
for
the
me to
time you
see.
showed me my glasses like a week or so ago, I haven't seen them. Or is that 2 weeks ago?
Your glasses are in my truck.
Mine or
Oh
yours?
no, your
Those
glasses
are.
is on the bathroom sink.
You sure?
Yeah, positive.
Mm.
You want to go? They're on the
Or a
bathroom
bathroom
sink.
sink?
Yes,
You sure?
positive. I
You
just got
just
out of the
saw it?
shower.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna
she's
get
gonna
my
go get.
papers anyway.
She's gonna go get her glasses, and y'all gonna entertain me. Hey, what's on y'all list, man? Anybody on there? What's on your buy list? I know some of you guys live in a restricted. Much love, Jason. Some of you guys live in these states with these restricted daggone things and all kinds of craziness. But what's on you? What's in your shopping cart, man? For real, anybody? 2011 smashing that Baz 2011. Which one? Don't tell me it's staccato, because it, yo, I used to want a staccato like when I first got into guns, right? It's like that 2011 and all of this, but then everybody got one, and you know anything about me, even if I like it, if I see a bunch of people with it, I don't want it no more. But yeah, but that's a dope ass joint. We used to have, before they opened up Xcal in the area, they used to have this place called Silver. They still do, but they're always packed. Called Silver Eagle Defense. That's near here, and we used to go there, man. And I swear that place is like that. Xcal is a high end range, but Silver Eagle is a bougie ass boutique range because those every time you walk in there, they got that bougie dope stuff, and it's a little small country club place. It's dope still, but yeah, well, 2011,
Sneeze.
Jason, I already know what's on your shopping list. What's on your shopping list, man? That that 5.7 Smith and Wesson itself. What's on your list? That's a bad joint. That Smith and Wesson 5.7 so dope. It has a rotating barrel, and I've been looking for a joint with a rotating barrel. Uh, oh, he doing gear and optics. Yeah, all right. That don't require nothing yet. Or Ruger Precision 338 Lapua. Damn, Jason. Jason, don't let me find out you becoming a sniper out that bad. Yeah, I was gonna build a 6.5 Creedmoor. I was gonna build a 6.5 Creedmoor and with like a 22-inch barrel, long barrel. Yeah, what's up, the pimp? How you doing? Yeah, I was going to do yeah, it's good to see y'all. I was going to do a 6.5 Creedmoor, 22-inch barrel, and I ain't never get to that part of my day yet. You know, I'll be, I'll, I'll be grinding. You know, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. Yeah, I'll be on that Cassidy. On that Cassidy, it ain't that Butch. Here go Butch right here. But yeah, what's on your list, the pimp? You coming down to the event this year? You coming down to the event this year? Yeah, so but yeah, but this on my shopping list, man. Um I seen this daggone thing on TFT. It was it's like Beretta PMX. I don't know if anybody even heard of that, but I ain't seen nobody in our community with one, and I ain't heard a lot about it. Yeah, so what you getting? What you bringing, the pimp? What you bringing? You getting anything new? What's in your shopping cart? I see Smash That Bass. He on that 2011. But yeah, just small talk. But anyway, Cassian decided because she felt like she was it was an interesting topic that we came across last week, which was when we did business credit for YouTube, for gun tubers. I mean, not just YouTubers, because we seen the thing with you know some people take starting out like us or myself, as this is a hobby, but when we launched into YouTube, it became a business because it required time, and time is money. We're not the only ones that do this, and she saw the need that she's seen some people on here with some dope stuff. He's like, well, I hope they're getting tax write-offs for this, or they're not using it on their personal credit or personal finance, or on their personal finance, and it's like, do these guys know anything about business credit? So that went on, and Cassian was on one, and she did her thing because that's her life. So the other side of it, right? I think we jumped ahead too much. So before we even get to the business credit thing like we did last week, let's rewind a little bit and see how she wants to talk about how
The
to
different ways to incorporate your
different
business.
ways to incorporate your YouTube channel. Treat
Your
this YouTube stuff like a business because it takes your time, and time is money.
and it takes money.
The fun part is a bonus. You know what I'm saying? The fun part is a bonus. But Cass
You
is
know
going
what?
to take
I
over.
always say rich people never have hobbies. Everything that they do is always business related. So, like I say, your vacation's a business trip. And even if this is a hobby, it is an expense. So there are ways that you could actually figure out how to make it part of your business. And even if there's no profit, becomes a tax write-off. Now, disclaimer: I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not an accountant. So I'm just giving you general
And neither am
information.
I.
Neither is Armel. Just providing general information. Somebody could check out yourself, and whatever you decide to do, make sure you speak to. If you don't feel comfortable enough,
I'm
do it
not a
on your
lawyer. I'm not a
own.
doctor. I'm not an accountant. I don't even play one on TV.
Yeah. So if you don't feel comfortable enough doing it yourself, I tend to create companies myself because I have a certain level of comfort doing it. And depends on your state. Some states easier than others. And Virginia actually makes it really easy where you can go online, do everything yourself. You can immediately get your articles of incorporation as long as you're not planning to do anything extra. And of course, you go to IRS and get your irs.gov and get your
And this,
EIN, and you're up and running in
even though we're not
10
lawyers or
minutes.
doctors or accountants, we've learned from personal experience from starting business, making mistakes. And we knew that a lot of times we didn't have the resources, and especially with Cass. Cass is a impulse and go. If you something comes to her mind, she'll make it happen, and it is without little thought.
Without
Uh,
little thought, that's something you're going to do, man.
not make you sound like an idiot or anything, but
I'm okay. Here's the thing: if I think of something that I'm gonna do, then I just go ahead and pursue it. I may not necessarily know everything about it,
she'll figure it out
but
on the
I'll
go.
I'll figure it out as I go along. Because I always believe I'm smart enough to figure it out. And if I see somebody doing it, well, they're not smart on me, so I'm gonna try to do it too. So not knowing every so because sometimes you have something called analysis to paralysis, and sometimes you analyze too much, you will never do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do enough of a research, enough just somewhat to say, okay, fine, it's something I want to do, and then I go ahead and pursue it and see how I can make it happen. I believe I'm a fast learner, so I just go
Start now. Start now.
start and figure it out later. Because
Start to
sometimes,
figure it out later. But one of
mm,
the things is about that in the many years that we've been that she's been like that her entire life. In the many years that we've been doing being entrepreneurs, I wish that I had resources that somebody could like coach me or somebody I could hit up or
mhm,
say, hey, go, hey, I need this, I need to set up a line of credit or
yeah,
XYZ, or how do I set up this EIN? And then I got this EIN. Do I have to register with the state? How do I structure my company or do it S Corp or C Corp or whatever that? There was no one there to show me. And back in those days, they weren't YouTube. And back in those days, there weren't those website templates. So she would come up with a concept, and I would have to build websites out of HTML code. And I graduated high school in the early 90s. So I didn't have all of this coding and stuff. I taught myself how to code, uh,
yeah. When we're building that website or the
how to
jewelry
code,
website,
how to build a website. I taught it to myself. So,
mm,
but that was an increased learning curve. Then the tax thing, learning curve with that tax thing, how to structure the business. What type of business can you register in the state versus Delaware or Nevada or Florida or something like that. I wish 15 years ago somebody would have said, hey, Armel, let's do it. You got to do it like this. You know what I mean? There were people, but everybody wants that, or you can pay for this, and this is a good place where you can help, or point
yeah,
me in a direction, even if they didn't know, point me in a direction where I can go get a service and have them take care of that, hire an account. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have that, but that wasn't the situation. And I'm noticing in YouTube, I think if we give this a little more approach our channels, our fun, our entertainment as if it is a business, and grow and promote it as if it's business, there'll be no limits, man. Because
hmm,
YouTube is only the beginning. YouTube is so powerful that I don't think they no longer need network TV. But because YouTube is regulated and we don't own it, we have to take steps on YouTube to take it to the next level. So, Cass, go ahead and tell us about getting into business.
oh, thanks for the video you sent. What is the video you sent?
Thanks. What video I sent?
For that video you sent me. Which video was that?
I don't remember Howard J.
Which video was that?
I don't daggone what video I sent.
Mm, okay.
I don't know.
Well, he says thank you anyway for
Thank
whatever
you.
video that you sent.
Oh,
Um,
oh, the video you from last week.
oh, the video that I created.
Yeah,
Oh, you mean the 7-minute video?
the video from your live. Remember last week live, and you dropped the video late.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we are running over the 7
So
steps
what
to
I
building
did was,
credit.
yeah. So
Okay.
what I did was everybody who was in the chat last week, I sent them a video.
Okay, that's what
I
you did.
sent them a video. I
The
shared the
video.
video with them on Instagram
Oh, I see. Okay, that's the video where
because
I gave more
I'm more
details.
interactive. I'm more interactive sometimes. She got like 1,000 things going on, so we help each other out.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank.
All right, so I'm just gonna go over quickly the different types of corporation that you can create.
And how
Because
to
I
create.
know that when I was creating a corporation first times, I didn't quite understand what the differences were. And then I was like, okay, do I pick a C or a S, or just a straight LLC, or do I do a partnership, or and I was like, okay, let me just try this one. And if you pick the wrong one, then it's a headache. If you actually want to change it, you kind of have to get a new EIN to change it, and it can become a bit of a headache. So it's good to actually set up from the very beginning. Of course, as I said before, not a lawyer or CPA, so you should, of course, if you feel don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, and it's actually cheaper to do it on your own. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it on your own, of course, reach out to those resources. There may be some, of course, in a group, and that could help you move along. But just this is a quick synopsis of the different types of corporation and how they work. And then just from listening, you can maybe have a thought. Maybe this is if I were to set up my company, or maybe I set my company this way. Maybe I could switch it to something else.
And I got another thing.
Mm?
This is an example. My cousin was tiling the bathroom, right? And he used YouTube and he tiled the bathroom, right? The concept was sound. It was good, but there were some pieces missing. YouTube is not totally reliable source. It's enough to get you an idea or point you and highlight the things that you need to look further into.
Mm-hmm.
It leads you in the right direction, but it's not a all. It's not an add all.
It's really a lot, watching a lot of videos to figure out, and it's still, of course, trying to figure
There's
it out.
missing pieces.
There are always missing pieces.
There's missing pieces.
Nobody ever really give the full details. And the fact of the matter is, unless you're gonna have a very, very, very long video, it's hard to give the full details of everything.
Put it like this: people got 4 years of business school and they still can't figure this shit out.
That
So
is
how
true.
are YouTube?
Actually, a lot of business school people don't know the differences.
You know,
I'm just gonna
people go to business school for 4 years and still can't figure it out. So how are you gonna figure it out in a YouTube video?
I'm just gonna quickly run over them though. This is just a quick synopsis. This is not meant to take forever. Okay, so first gonna start with one things that you could okay. The one that you shouldn't do, I'm gonna start with that, which is a sole proprietorship. Okay. That's when you create a company, and most people, they just use their social security number, and that's how they create a company. Of course, it's never the one. It's never the one you should do, because everything is tied to you personally, and you're personally liable should anything should happen. So always try to avoid being a sole proprietor as much as possible. I actually do have some advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so now they say sole proprietorship is easy to finance. I'm disagreeing a bit. By if that's you using a personal credit, suppose you don't have great credit, then how is it easy to finance? You know what I mean? And that's where having business credit matters, where you separate yourself from your business and create the business credit to get the financing. And of course, it goes another. I don't know if it's at an advantage, but the tax reporting is on your personal return, and I mean, there's no management because it's just you. And yeah, so I wouldn't recommend it, because of course the disadvantage is that it's somebody goes after you. If you make a mistake, you are liable. You can lose your entire house, every single thing, because you are the entity. Okay, so don't do it. All right,
I wouldn't recommend doing it.
I would not recommend.
You do what the hell you want to do, but I would not recommend
doing it. You can be an individual and create a company, by the way. So another, there's one that you could do. It's a C corporation where you set up with shareholders. But here's the thing: if even you're there by yourself as a shareholder, you could be the president, the vice president, the treasurer. You could have all those titles, but it's still a company that's a C corporation and it has shares, right? So it is, of course, a separate entity. It's a legal and separate
Slow
entity,
down. You
and
didn't get to the C corporation yet.
that is the C corporation I'm talking about right now.
I thought you went for sole proprietor.
No, I just finished sole proprietor, so I recommend don't do it. We're at C corporation right now, where it's about
Okay.
your book is like a shareholder thing, and you
Okay.
have, so if you want to bring several people in, you could give them shares in the company, which you could. Sometimes some people set up where they give themselves 99% and somebody 1%. You could do that, or
Or you could be 100% everything.
you could literally own all the shares of the company. You could be the vice president, treasurer, secretary, all that stuff. And of course, you have to have articles of incorporation and bylaws. I mean, the way Virginia work is that you set it up and they literally will just create something for you.
And
as long
believe
as
it
you
or
fill
not,
out-
every state is different. So, like I said, that's another reason why YouTube can't really fill you in all the pieces.
because every state is different.
Every
yes.
state is different.
Every state have their own set of rules and laws. So, and in terms of how you're going to set it up too. So it's good
And the type of business that you are, whether you have to be registered in your state or you can do a foreign.
Well, foreign file, that's a different thing entirely. You're going all the way over there.
Okay.
Don't talk about foreign file. Because
Okay.
foreign file that's
Something
a different
different.
thing. And that's when people use like Delaware, Nevada,
So
or
slow down, Tessie,
why
'cause
exactly. You
rambling.
went into foreign file.
Okay.
Foreign file is completely different.
Okay, so just slow down with your thing. Go back
Okay.
to what you was doing.
I'll
Forget about me.
okay.
All right, go ahead.
Like I said, C corporation, shares in company, and then you could actually own all the shares, and you could have multiple roles. Of course, the advantage is a limited liability, so that you're not responsible if anything goes wrong with your company. I mean, your company is separate from you, and it is a large corporation, so the shares are actually quite liquid. So you could liquidate it in terms of you could actually share it out to someone. Say, okay, I'm to get part of my
You can
company.
sell pieces of it.
You could sell pieces of it. If somebody want to come in and maybe bring value to the company, you could offer them a share to bring value to your company. So let's say you have your channel and you have somebody who's want to come in and contribute somehow to it, maybe help you make videos, help you do marketing, whatever. And it's okay, fine. I have my company, because you're coming in, I'll give you a certain kind of share of this company.
So when it blow, you get that cut.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's also the great thing about it. And the also good thing is that should anything happen, let's say somebody keel over and die, then the corporation does not expire. It goes on and on and on. So it's basically outlives whoever it is as a shareholder in the company. So it doesn't, and that's the difference with sole proprietorship. If it's sole proprietor died, and that's it, end of story. If it's in a C corporation, then somebody who dies does not stop the flow of business. Okay. The disadvantage, of course, is that it's actually more expensive to form, and you have to report to the state and federal government annually. There's double taxation because the profits are taxed from the company, as well as you personally from the dividends that you get from the corporation. And
slow down, because you're just rambling. I mean, it's hard to understand because you. Am I tripping, or she sounding like a machine gun?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a fast talker though.
Well, slow down, because you blowing my brains out.
Yeah. So
she's blowing my. She's excited, so she's blowing.
Okay. Well, you interrupting my thought.
Yeah,
have a question, wait till I'm done.
That sounds, spit it out and just talk.
Okay, what I'm saying is that they're double taxation. The corporation get taxed, as well as the dividends that is paid to the individual shareholder. Okay, so so that's the double taxation right there. Okay, and say it different, arm. Whatever loss that the corporation has is not passed on to the shareholder. Okay. So the loss, whatever the corporation has, not passed on to shareholder.
Okay.
Is that slow enough for you?
Yeah, because you shoot.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it different. She's talking really fast because he talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I say you blowing my brains out, so he's saying say it different because it sounds like something else.
All right, let me go slow. Let me go again.
She still don't get it.
I'm just okay. Let me see how I can. Okay, with the C corporation, it's like you've heard about shares of a company, and companies being on the stock exchange, whatever, and it's shares, right? and people actually having shares of a company. So sometimes you can go online and buy shares of a company. It's the same general idea. So even though you're a small entity, a small company, you create your corporation, your C corporation is like shares, and you have shares that you give to shareholders. If you're just starting out, you yourself, by your sole self, can be a C corporation, and you have all of the you have all of the titles and stuff with this company. So you could be the president, the VP, the treasurer, and signed as such, and it's all good. Okay. And then but then of course, if you were to decide that you're going to grow and you want to bring somebody into your company, you could say, okay, fine, because you bring value to my company, I will give you, let's say, 10% share, 10% of the shares, or anyhow you want to break it out, or so you can determine how you want to share out your company with a C corporation. Okay. Now, because it's a C corporation and it's shares, the fact is that you actually, any profits that you get, you pay dividends to the shareholder. So the shareholder, each shareholder will get a dividend. The same like if you were to buy shares and all of a sudden you make a little $5, whatever it is that you make, and say, yeah, you get a dividend payout. That's the idea, you get a dividend payout. Now, the disadvantage with a C corporation is that actually, if you own it all and stuff, that money is taxed twice, where the corporation will pay taxes on it, but also the dividend also will get taxed as well. Okay, so you have to decide if that actually will work for you. I think a lot of big companies tend to be C corporations when they grow, because that's just but I'm just saying it's an option that you could do as somebody started out to use a C corporation. Yeah, and it's also more expensive to form, and you must file with the state and the federal government annually. All right.
Mhm.
So let's go to the next one, which is an S corporation. Now, S corporation again is also not a separate legal entity, and as I said before, remember years and years ago, they passed a law in the Supreme Court that says that a corporation could be is basically a person,
A corporation is a person.
Yes, so it has all the rights and benefits of a person, which is why it's good. So you can use that to build business credit, of course. And so an S corporation can be owned, of course, same thing, by an individual or a group of people. And the good thing about an S corporation is that there's no double taxation. So there's no income that is reported by shareholders on the individual tax returns. Um, but the thing is, with if you're by just to let you know, if you're by yourself, you also need to file a form. I think it's a form 8353.
It's not in your
And
notes.
no, it's, yeah, I just remembered it. It's a form you have to file along with your paperwork, to make sure that you could, because the thing is with S corporation is that you would file your taxes on like a K1, and you report it on your personal income, on your personal taxes as well. So whatever money that you losses or gains that you've gained, you kind of file on your K1. And but to file on a K1, you have to file a separate form called an A353 when you do form the corporation. But usually the good thing about it is that when you're filing it, the site will tell you, hey, you need to file this if you want to do this as an S corp. So I'm just letting you know.
This is a hard lesson learned. You form the S
Yeah.
corp, then you forgot the dad gonna fill out the form correctly.
Then
You don't get this on YouTube.
You don't get that benefit of
you don't form your form. You don't
file
fill
your
out your
form.
form separately, and you go into work. So you form your S corporation doing your YouTube channel or whatever, or whatever the case may be, or your candy store, or your ice cream parlor, or your sneaker flex, whatever it may be. If you do not fill out your forms properly, they ain't gonna forget that you didn't forget it, fill out your forms properly, or no, they're gonna send you a goddamn bill, and that's it.
Yeah, so it's just good
They're
because
gonna send you a
sometimes
bill.
when you file something, there's separate forms, and even on the Virginia site, they tell you, hey, they remind you, hey, you need to form this.
And even if
within
you
a
catch
certain
it on
time
the
frame.
federal form, the state gonna send you theirs.
Yeah, well, this is when you're creating the company. I know on the Virginia site, they remind you that you need to file something along with it, and you can
But New
simply
York
print the
don't.
form and send it off, and it's all good, so that you can report your losses, or if you want to do your
certain states
your
just send you the
benefits
bill.
on a you wanna do on a K1. Okay, it's just that your tax it matters with your final up your taxes in the very end. That's what it really matters. All right.
Hire an accountant if you're not comfortable.
Yeah. Again, if you don't fully understand, you need to hire an accountant. I'm going to tell you that. But I do like S corps. That's mostly what I form with my companies. And you could actually form a limited liability and also S corp as well. But that's another kettle of fish. All right. So then, of course, the next one is general partnerships. Um, so that's when, let's say, you create a company and there are two of you, and it says, okay, fine, this is a partnership. And the thing is, if you don't, again, file a separate document that doesn't classify it as a partnership, usually the default will be a partnership if more than one person state that they're creating a company. So if you don't want it to be done filed as a partnership, then you need to do a separate form that declare it not to be a partnership, which is again talk to your accountant. um but the thing is with partnership is you have to make sure that when you're creating a partnership agreement, that the terms are clearly stated. And that's where it's very important to have an operating agreement that's properly spelled out. Um, yeah, it's very, very important to have an operating agreement that's properly spelled out in terms of each person's role in the partnership, as well as what the profit sharing is going to look like. So you need to create an operating agreement when you create the company and everybody sign it.
Let's just freeze
The
on
thing
there.
is,
Let's just freeze on there before we get too deep, right? The importance of an operating agreement is life and death. It's not that's something that the government doesn't
do.
necessarily have to do. They
No,
don't have to know.
here's the thing. The government only care about the operating agreements when you're filing the taxes. The thing is with the operating agreements is that it's it helps to clarify any issues should there be of who's not getting their money.
Money, right?
So it helps to
So if you got
clarify.
it, if you got your corporation divided up into like 50 pieces and everybody got X amount of shares, they want to know when you divvy up your profit shares, who's getting what. That's what they want to know. How that's structured is up to you. It's
I mean, yeah, but
it's up to
it's good in the very
it's up to the principal.
it's good
The
to
principal.
it's good in the very beginning when you're creating a company to actually
Put some thought into
put
it.
some thought into it and really have a conversation to say, okay, you are contributing this, I'm contributing that, and this is how we're going to split our profits, should there be any, and this is how it's going to be profits and loss equally. And then you actually have nice paperwork and everybody sign it. Because no matter how friendly you and somebody,
or you may be married to somebody
or whatever, yeah, you got to make sure that the terms are clear when it comes to how money, it all comes down to the money. When the money is getting made,
it's money and
property, whatever asset it is that you're trying to do, whatever money that you're trying to make,
even
you gotta
your
make
brand.
sure that you're very clear about how everything will be divided. Because I mean, I've seen friends become enemies because I thought I was going to get 50 and you're giving me 40. But then you could always write it back to the agreement. You said, this is clearly spelled out. We're all signing. This is
and
what
it happens. It happens if you look at business. It happens all the time. With me, I always reference hip hop, rap. So somebody came out with an engram and said, "Hey, this is my symbol that I created, and this is the death row symbol. But I made this symbol for this, and then we break up. But this is mine. No, you can have the name, but this is my artwork or whatever. I did this, and the label is only known by this engram or whatever. And it's always become fuss. The brand, the brand, the brand, the brand. Who brand is it? You know what I mean? Whose is this? Whose is that? Whose idea? Who's the artist? Who's the promoter? What was my contributor? By ironing out your operating agreement from there, it makes everything clear.
But just I want to tell you something though. There are two actually types of partnership companies that you can create. There's a general partnership, right? Where
Yeah, you're right, Billy.
yeah,
EPMD.
was EPMD.
She don't know EPMD. I
Um,
shot the sheriff and didn't shot the Jeopardy.
oh yeah. So okay, so there are two different types of actual partnership companies that could be formed. You have the general partnership where it's more of an equal, there were all persons have an equal management of how things are gonna, how the company is gonna get run. And then there is the one that's called a limited liability partnership, where one person has the bulk of the management responsibilities, um, but then the other partners can be shielded from actually being liable for anything. So one person takes all the full responsibility, and other partners are shielded from it. So that could be a situation where let's say one person's a majority shareholder, or they have most of the shares of the company. They bring other partners in and they're managing everything. The other partners could be shielded from anything that may happen in the company and responsibilities, because they're not fully, they're not part of the general
Slow
overall
down.
management.
So basically, what she's saying in English is, right, when you're doing a limit liability partnership, correct me if I'm wrong, just say no, heck no. So you got a bunch of partners and everybody has their responsibility, right? So when those responsibilities ironed out, if one person leaves, that's what you were saying?
What I'm saying, not necessarily, but one with a limited liability. Okay, with a general man, everybody have a part of the management. With a limited liability partnership, one person takes on the full responsible management of the company, and because of that, and then other partners are shielded from any responsibility at all.
So
The difference though is that that person who takes on that role usually
he's
gets
the manager partner.
compensated for taking on that role. So they will be usually compensated separately.
That's what they call a managing partner.
That role. Yes.
He's the man. He's that one that actually does the day-to-day operations of the business in all things.
And they're the
but
ones
he's compensated either by shares or monetarily.
Yeah, and
with the salary
separately
with more shares.
That, yeah.
So if I, Armel, was to do a setup like that, and I was to do a partnership with Billy and Cassian and Jason and Shanna, I was like, all right, y'all, we in this business, everybody in it, boom. We set everybody a partner, but I'm running this shit. You know what I mean? And since I'm running it, all of us have equal shares, but it's run the way Armel
you could
wants
actually
it to
be
run.
compensated,
And I'm compensated when the money come in. I get X amount first.
You get a almost like you get
a
salary or some kind of additional
or additional shares. Or
so
I take a cut out of. I can take a cut out of each one of your stake in the company.
No, but that would be anyhow.
It just depends on. It could be 1,000 different things.
That could be really, if again,
it could be 1,000
how that
things.
Is spelled out will be done on the operating agreement.
Yeah, the operating agreement is
how you want to do that. It's just that one person have a bigger responsibility, and because they're compensated separately for that, and in fact, their compensation could even be part of an expense. You could even structure it like that, part of the general overall expense of the company. Like like you had a salary, whatever. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, I hope that's as clear as mud, but
and that was a learning experience that we learned too.
Yeah, so
serious learning experience that we've learned over the years.
So all right, one of the most popular, of course, is LLC, and of course, LLCs can also be S corp. So that you can actually combine them as well.
Slow down.
So the LLC, so let me just make sure.
If y'all want to break it down even further in each, because I know Cassian's talking fast and spitting it out in thousands.
So they can slow it down and rewind.
Nah, but if you want to just do an LLC, a C corp, an S corp, a partnership, and a sole proprietor in separate videos, you can, or you can do it in separate videos on on the videos that you make with the chalk or whatever, the cartoons.
Oh, I could do a video on this.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, she could do
Yeah,
that.
where it's more where you could
Well,
actually.
she'll break it down faster because she talks fast because her brain moves fast.
Um. So the LLC allows if you do a LLC with a limited liability
Well, we got
corporation.
25 minutes left.
Each
Anybody want to come
member
in and ask any questions
can
or
be
talk
involved
or
in.
share what you know?
You keep interrupting me,
Because
Armand.
we got 15 minutes.
You went over by half hour yesterday, last week. So I'm just saying. Now I'm trying to quickly go through this, but you keep interrupting.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right. And thank you, my fly. I love these videos, CZ. Thank you. All right. So LLC limited liability company. So here's the thing. LLC, in terms of the formation of it, each state operates differently. Some state would not allow one person to have an LLC, so you have to check in your state to see how that works. Some states you have to be at least two people to form an LLC. So, and the great thing about LLC is that for each person could be a managing member. You could actually have 10 managing members when you sign, and so LLC is actually one of the easiest ones to create. A lot of people like creating LLCs.
LLCs are dangerous too, but she'll get into that.
LLCs actually operate with it's less formality than you would require for a C&S corporation. There's no double taxation, and all members can be active in the management of the business. And limited liability is given to all group members.
It's less paperwork.
Well, yeah. I mean, the only thing about it is that it's less liquid. And it may be more difficult to obtain financing. But I'm like, you know what? I mean, I always believe that again, business credit, you could build up business credit and that all don't even matter. So don't even worry about that. That's more like if you're tying your personal stuff to it. All right. So here's something, folks, that I'm gonna talk about. The next one is actually trust. Okay. So here's the thing. You've heard the talk about
Trust.
own nothing, control everything. That's the idea of a trust. Where when you create a trust, you could have more than one. Let's say I decide to create a trust. I could have more than one beneficiary, and then you have a separate trustee. A trick that a multimillionaire told me that when it comes to long assets that you plan to keep for a long time, this is great for like if you have properties or stuff or your house. The trick he said is that
assets in general.
Assets in general. The trick he said was that when you buy your asset, you was talking specifically about properties, but let's say you have a house, whatever. You move it to one. He actually prefers Wyoming as a state because he says Wyoming is pretty cool. But you actually, when you move it 2-3 times into different LLC, C corps, anything you want to do, and then finally move it into a trust. And he says that you do that, you move it like 3 times, because then if somebody want to sue you, they first got to find out what you own. When you actually move a property into, let's say, a land trust, and I'm getting into that, is that you could determine the terms of how you want. Should you die, you can determine the terms of how you want your property to be. If you want it to be sold and make your kids hold on to it and they can't sell it, you can do that. Or in a business that you have, you can do that. And the good thing is that you could create beneficiaries, which could be your kids.
And caretakers, because your kids might not take care of your stuff.
But beneficiaries will be whoever it is that benefit from this asset, right? And the trustee would be different. And you could make your lawyer the trustee. And he recommended making using lawyer trustee because if somebody want to sue you, right, they would have to get to the trustee, and because the trustee is your lawyer, then there's what's it called, client attorney privilege. They can't divulge any information, so that completely protects your assets.
That's like crazy into it.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway, a trust is great for holding long-term assets and protecting assets. So even the same thing with companies. If you have a company and you don't want your kids to sell off stuff and you want to protect them and you want to make sure that they get long-standing checks forever, you could set up in such a way that they can sell it, that they just get checks, like weekly checks, monthly checks, whatever. And it's followed. The thing is, a trust protects your wishes should you die.
And some of you guys should know that by filling out that daggone NFA Form 1 thing.
Yeah. So the trust basically
So-
determine, you can set up a trust so that your wishes should you die will live on. For example, if you guys know, what's the Mayor Koch, whatever, he was a lawyer. When he died, he and also save you from taxes as well, actually. Huge part of taxes, save you from taxes. But when he died, he lost like half of his wealth, his whatever was paid to the taxes, and taxman took his money because he didn't set himself properly. If he had actually set himself up properly, it cannot be taxed. All that money and all that property when he died would not have been able to be taxed. And his kids could have benefited from the residual money coming in from that. So by not setting up your trust properly, your finances properly, your estate properly, you might find
but
that
this is a deeper conversation, Cassie.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I'm
This
just
is
saying
the
it's
sta-
another thing. It's another thing that could be. I'm finished, literally. This is the last one. This is just another thing that could be created. You could put your long term, the same thing as your guns. Let's talk about guns then. You
No,
could put
because listen,
your
Cassie, but
your firearm could be in a trust, like you said, and you can determine how you want it to be.
is. Yeah.
And then your kids they have
They
to
can't
keep
sell
it.
your
They
shit.
can't sell it if that's not what your wish is. They could keep it forever. If you decide to keep it for 100 years, that's just what it is. They can't sell it. Okay. And then you could set the terms of how you want that to be handled should you pass away, all of your assets, if it's all under a trust. And you literally could create a trust for every single asset that you own. Check it out, a million trusts. That's, call it whatever. Okay.
Or you can have a single trust that
It doesn't
controls
matter
80 million assets.
But so it also doesn't matter if you actually have a mortgage. You could put your current house under a trust.
Yeah. You can have a single trust that controls 1 million assets, or you can have 1 million trusts that controls 1 million assets.
No, it's always wise to put a separate trust, especially when it comes to holding property. Again, the whole idea
assets. Stop looking at it as property.
Because I know the real estate. It's still the same idea.
It's the exact same thing, but
yeah. But what I'm saying is the reason why I do it is that it's the protection of the corporate bail. So should somebody try to take something, there are so many bails that are there.
And usually the person that's trying to take something is usually a family member or the government.
The taxes too.
Yeah, that's
you
the government.
Protect yourself in
so
ways.
Those are the two people that's trying to take your stuff: family, friend, government. You need to protect yourself from those things.
Anyway, I'm done. So I'll do a video that outline a little bit more of this. That could be helpful.
I know this came out like it was way, I'm around this stuff every single day, and it was way over my head the way it was spit out. So we're going to try to do this again.
So you're saying your family is like government. Well, the thing is, the sad thing about it is that a lot of times, if you don't have a proper trust set up, a proper will set up, and so on, your family members tend to not regard what you may regard, and they could decide to not do things the way you want to turn over in your grave. So you can use a trust, set up a will, and so on in certain ways that your assets are protected, and they have to listen to you, to how you want things.
You set up your instructions.
Yeah, as like a will, along with your will and a trust, you set everything up in such a way that they have to follow the instructions, and they can do whatever they feel like they're gonna do.
So this is the thing with family, right? And I know a lot of people may have the same thing. Grandma, grandpa. No, it's joking and it's all funny, hee ha ha. But the reality of it is, grandma got a house, right? Nobody want the house grandma live in because grandma live in the hood, and this happened to my grandmother. My grandmother, she's solely because she already seen the shit happen. But what happened was, if she didn't sell it before she died, and that house she died in my great grandmother in she died in 2003. When she died in 2003, right? All of her damn kids would have been fighting. They would have sold that house. That house is $3 million house now.
Mm-hmm. She sold for $30,000.
She sold it for $30,000 and moved to Virginia. But that was besides the point. That house is a $3 million house in 2003 or 2003 when she died. It was a $3 million house.
So that probably worth 50 million now.
It's probably a whole lot more. You see what I'm saying? So in 2003 when she died, her house that she sold for $30,000 in 87 was is worth $3 million when she died. So now it's probably worth like 15. Now she had a bunch of kids and all of this stuff. If she would have daggone left them to those kids, and her kids is not in the best condition or in the best mental state, they'd have been fighting and killing. So she alleviated that problem
So
before
by
it
having
happened.
a will and putting it in a trust, then whatever wishes, that's, I mean, you've heard before that people have said that, oh, he's still running things from the grave. That's
Damn
exactly
right.
what that means. You set up a will and a line and a trust, and then you can run things as much as what you want. Your
The
kids
whole
can
the whole
just
thing
do.
about business, the whole thing about business is controlling. If you're not controlling it, you're wasting it. You're wasting the opportunity. And I hate to, like Cassian said in the very beginning of this live, a hobby is a business. A
Well,
vacation is a business trip.
rich people never,
Everything it's not
rich
it's
people
not
never
rich
take it
people.
out. Well,
People
people
with sense.
never go on vacation. They go on business trips
People with sense,
or whatever activities are
everything
business.
that they do matters. You know what I mean? Every move that you make matters. Every word that you say to your child matters. If it don't make sense, it don't make dollars.
Yeah.
If it don't make sense, it don't make dollars. And if it make dollars, it better make sense. So why are you doing this or why are you moving like this if it's not
The thing
beneficial
is,
towards you?
even let's say you are,
Even if it's
let's
a
say the
mental
trip
health
that
thing.
we're going to be going to, wherever it is, are going to be into RGG. The fact is, if you spend 10 minutes discussing or a couple minutes discussing business, then it's a business trip. It doesn't have to be the entire time. And
And it
that's
is a
been.
business trip. It's a networking opportunity. I
I'm
know
just
last
saying. I'm
year
just giving an
I hung
example.
out with
If you
Coy
go
and
to Disney and you
I met
spend.
I met Billy and I made some connections, made some connections. And sometimes all connections are not direct connections, but the seeds has been planted.
As
You know,
long as you use it as a
is
time to discuss in the
and I
business,
use
it's a business
and
trip.
anybody can tell you whether the way you feel about Armel or not. You may or may love me or you may or may hate me, but I always present you with me and a value proposition. Always value proposition. I'm always trying to elevate a situation. I understand the complexities of relationships, and I try to, and even the personal relationships that I form, it's personal relationship because it's going to benefit us all. We can do more together. It's united, you know, every time, and that's what I'm into. Unifying growth, elevation. You know what I mean? Elevation is all I'm about. Let's take this to the next level. You see what I'm saying? But and people can feel how they want
I
to feel
know,
about
right?
that. But go ahead.
Mm.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm done with talking about that. So if you, I mean, I keep on saying I'll CPLR, but if you want to talk to me, one thing I do know about is building the business credit I mentioned before, and if you're set up already, or if you're about to set up and think about it, just come and talk and have a
Just any
conversation.
any type of business. It
Any type of
doesn't matter
business, yeah.
because any type of business that you want to do,
Mm.
just reach out. We may not know, but we may know somebody who might know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean, or we may be able to point you in a direction, or we may be able to give you some advice to stop
Yes.
where we have made mistakes in the past. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, or just like you don't got to do that because I did that and it didn't work.
I mean, because a lot of trial and error,
It's a lot of trial and
a
error
lot of trial and error.
and a
So
lot of blowing the bag.
yeah, a lot of trial and error. So I mean, it's when you. I mean, one thing is that when I see something that I think is just amazing and I think it could help people that I know, I'm like, hey, check this out. This is just awesome. So I literally had my conversation with my sister today because she herself was trying to do some things, and she was denied. And we looked at everything that she had going on, and she wasn't that far off where she needs to be to get what she needs. It's just a slight modification for her to get what she
And
needs.
it's, and believe it or not, it's never about the money you have on hand.
No,
It's
it's
about the
really
projection of the money the potential your potential. That's
yeah,
the better word.
it's really put on your payment history. That the business is showing, and it's very very quick. It's not like personal credit that takes years to build. With business credit, you can have what you need within a very very short time. So yeah.
And the thing what I value, so everybody at least having their own small business, micro, however it may be, is because that is the only true freedom that we have here in America. You know what I mean? Working 40 hours a week for someone else, that's contributing to them. So whatever they're paying you, believe me, they're getting at least 10 times what you're contributing out of them.
Okay, smashing that base
So if
wants
they,
to know if you're going to be to tactical turkey too.
hell yeah, I'm gonna be there if I don't fall asleep. They be killing me. But today conspiracy theory fish night, and I'm trying to catch Zach in a little while because I know he got his 4K thing. I support everybody as much as I can.
Yeah, and smash that base. Don't worry about it. I know you were having a little fun. But you know, about the family being the government.
Yeah,
Sometimes it does feel like that. But
yeah, but our family is a tax. I know I got a tax right there, Zadie. Boy, oh boy, she taxed me mentally, spiritually, and financially. She's she stacks. If she don't like some food, you buy good food, she'll throw it on the floor if you don't
she
cook it
has
right.
expensive taste because she like
And she has
expensive.
very, very
She
expensive
has
taste.
expensive snacks. Like she
Mhm.
like the $5 snacks. Like
And I know I tell my son, I was like, I'm looking for the return on my investment. He's like, what? He said, why you so hard on me? It's like I disappoint. I said, I'm looking for the return on my investment because I put a lot into you. I want it back. I want something back. But he's good. He's a good dude, man. And I'm very proud of him every day. You know.
Yeah. So I did you want to go back to your buy list or I mean almost
Nah,
nine.
that was just a little entertainment. Yo, so anybody left in here who's on the buy list? Billy, what's on your buy list?
Is he still there?
I don't know if he's still there. It's
I think
Zach's
I completely
live
dropped
time.
off. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna holler at you. We got one more minute left. But yo, sit up in the buy list. Hit me on Instagram. What you trying to get, or leave in the comment section for real. Leave in the comment section what's on your buy list. And if you want to get into any business, it could be at whatever frantic. If you need some, some coaching or some mentoring, hit Cass up CZ Mommy on Instagram. You know what I mean?
You know it is.
It's business credit. You want to get this thing going, like structure, like absolutely structuring. Hit her up. She can give you some pointers and point you in the right direction. CZ Mommy on Instagram. CZ Mommy 75 on Instagram. You know.
Because I have experience with different types of business and stuff. I don't mind sharing whatever knowledge I might have.
The more people know, the merrier.
Yeah.
The
So
more people know, the more
and again, I
empowered we
never
are.
claim to know everything. I'm no guru. I hate when people say they're gurus, and I hate that. I'm not a guru because I'm learning new things every day. I just like to. What I know is a lot, but there's still, of course, room to learn more, and I really do believe that. And I'm learning more and more every day. I was just happy to share the knowledge that I have, and even some of the mistakes that I made. Like even, oh my gosh, even today, between yesterday and today, I was talking to someone who bought a property that I believe wasn't the greatest buy, and we're looking at it was already so much in the hole. And we're looking at how to make it work. And I literally wrapped my brain for a
Everybody
couple
has that
hours,
shit.
and say, hey, this is how you could put the deal together so it's not a complete loss. And that was fun for me because that was coming up with creative strategies of how to make it all work.
Yeah.
So that's something fun for me. Anyway, we're running off because Arm is about to jump on.
Yeah, I'm jumping on. I'm jumping on Zach's live. This is 4K. We're gonna celebrate. So everybody, we see y'all next week. Cassian is going to introduce a video on each one of these sections. sometime
I
next week.
don't know if I mean, I'll do
You
me.
will.
I'll see if I do. I think
Yeah,
one video would
you
be
will, or you're gonna get fired.
one video I think
You're
could
gonna get fired.
suffice to give all this information. I think one video. I'll see how long it is.
It's
and I'll
all
see
in the
when to break it
operating
up.
agreement. She's gonna get fired. She's
You
gonna
see
get
my
fired.
expression, I'm now like.
I don't care. You can
Okay.
express. You can't control the way people feel, but you can fire them. All right. Good night, everyone, and we gonna end the broadcast. Good night.
Bye.
Hit it.